What's one thing that should never happen? Like never ever. You should never keep the big and small turtle together. They mustn't even see each other. And now you'll see why. What can a small 4-inch long turtle do? Sit on a stone looking cute? Be a great pet? How about eliminating 29 species of large turtles? Red-eared sliders are very small turtles. People love to keep them as pets, but once they get into the wild, it leads to disaster. First, they can carry diseases native species simply can't fight. Second, they eat their food, invade their water bodies, and generally don't behave like good neighbors. In northeastern India, red-eared sliders invade natural water bodies and threaten the extinction of already vulnerable native species. Yeah, these tiny things can do that.
They say you can't go into the water after midnight. A scary little monster lives there. The turtle that's vowed to destroy everyone larger than itself. The red-eared slider.
Oh, hey, what are you guys doing? Sitting by the fire? Can I join?
But are small turtles really stronger than large ones? What advantages could they possibly have? They're like tiny crumbs for predators. I also thought that until I began to dig deeper into this topic and discovered amazing things. All turtles are well protected. You need to try really hard to get them out of their shell. But this very shell can become a deadly trap. You probably know that turtles sometimes flip onto their backs and look absolutely helpless. In this position, the animal can die from the scorching sun, starve to death, or become someone else's dinner. So nature taught the turtles to turn right side up using their paws. It's not easy, but it's possible. However, there is one but. The larger the turtle, the harder it is for it to return to its right position. Yes, there are many reasons why big turtles have an easier life than small ones or just young turtles, until they end up on their backs. Well, who's cooler now, huh?
Help me! Help me!
Alright, this might just be an evolutionary flaw, but big turtles also lose when it comes to speed. I agree it's weird to mention speed when we're talking about turtles, but as soon as you put a turtle in the water, you'll see some of them swim faster than experienced human swimmers. Even freshwater turtles are somehow better at that than us. And as strange as it may seem, small turtle species have an advantage over the large ones too. Take, for example, the alligator snapping turtle. It's large and looks intimidating, but once in the water, it prefers to wander along the bottom like a hippo. At the same time, the red-eared slider will swim at a decent speed, somewhere around 4 to 6 miles per hour, like the green sea turtle, which is designed to swim long distances. See what I'm getting at? Turns out small turtles win again, but this raises a question that children usually ask. Why are turtles actually so slow? Doesn't life in the wild teach them to move fast in order not to die? Well, it looks like the turtles are in no rush because they don't have to be. Lucky. Most turtles are herbivores. Plants can be found anywhere, and they certainly won't move. Well, except when they need to urgently assault Isengard, of course. Sometimes turtles hunt insects, small fish, or some kind of jellyfish, but again, they don't chase anyone. The prey just flies or floats by. Also, turtles have a very slow metabolism, thanks to which they can live over 100 years. And a slow metabolism makes the whole animal slow as well. But sometimes the turtles can be fast, depending on the circumstances. Usually, the circumstances for fleeing can be described in one word. Ah! When the turtles are scared, most of them flee to a safe spot. Some dive into the water, others just hide. They must be really scared, though. Turtles have been around for millions of years and won't get fussy without a serious reason. Now let's get back to where we started. Big and small turtles. It's really better to keep them separated, especially when it comes to members of the same species. The little ones are more agile, faster, and doomed to die. People who breed turtles at home know this very well. As soon as the baby turtles are ready to hatch, it's better to put the adults somewhere far away. That's because large turtles will perceive young ones as rivals in a competition for resources, just like in the wild. Yes, babies are not on the menu of larger turtles, but only because they rarely meet each other. Small turtles seem terribly annoying to large ones, even when they just get into the water. Well, they really are a nuisance. Nobody invited them here.
These younglings again. You can't get into the water with them around.
I'll fix that, bro. Listen, maybe this is why most turtles don't care about their offspring. They just lay eggs and go about their business, not to accidentally start seeing their kids as annoying rivals. Quite a radical way, but it works. However, some turtles can still compete for the title of good parents. A team of researchers from Brazil discovered some turtles talk with their babies after they leave the nest. It all starts when baby arousal turtles make sounds before they exit their eggs, and continue to do so even when they get out of the nest chamber onto the river beach. And mothers respond to them. These sounds are not like singing, growling, or hissing, but rather like clicks at low frequencies that travel long distances underwater. Arousal turtles live mainly in the Amazon basin, so it's really easy to get lost there. With the help of sounds, mothers either find their offspring or simply lead them to the areas where they can find food. Seems like scientists don't have a full understanding of how this works, but it's already clear that arousal turtles are much more caring parents than many other species. In the animal kingdom, you sometimes need to do very little to stand out from the rest of your neighbors. At least not to eat your own relatives. You realize the bar is pretty low here. But sometimes even cannibalism can be beneficial to the entire species. No, not only because of the survival of the fittest and blah blah blah. Cannibalism literally accelerates evolution. This is the conclusion made by researchers who observed the cane toads. When part of the eggs turn into tadpoles, they won't pretend to be carrying nannies. Instead, they just eat other eggs, that is, their siblings who aren't fast enough. It's certainly nasty, so in order to not be eaten, the rest of the tadpoles began to develop and hatch much faster. So they literally evolved just to take away delicious food from their elder brothers? Well, and to survive. But these are details. While some animals accelerate evolution to avoid getting eaten, others try to hack it. Here's an obvious fact for you. Any animal seeks to procreate in order to pass on its genes to the next generation. The more successful the offspring is, the better, just like with humans. Well, except that no one expects the tiger to go to college. But what if one creature gets offspring that would belong to several species at once? It's hard, but incredibly cool, and the turtles did it. They have a rather complicated history of evolution, but scientists are quite certain that turtles, crocodiles, and even birds have common ancestors. Moreover, turtles are more closely related to birds than to any modern lizards. It's not yet clear what the common ancestor of all these guys looked like, but the scientific community is working on it. And this is not even the most amazing case of evolutionary deception. Have you heard about the Latimeria? Yes, that fish that supposedly went extinct together with the dinosaurs and then accidentally rediscovered in the middle of the 20th century? This fact alone is surprising and makes us consider Latimeria a living fossil. But that's not all there is to it. Based on Latimeria DNA, we figured they're more closely related to cats than most fish. To cats! Look, this is your brother. Scientists have already suggested that the Latimeria is a cousin of mammals and other land vertebrates, and the secret lies in special fins. But it's not that interesting as to imagine what motivated the Latimeria. Did they decide to skip a few stages of evolution and go straight to mammals? Or did they convince their descendants they don't need to be involved in a family business and swim somewhere in the ocean? It's better to get out straight on land and invest in fur? And it was clearly the right decision. What about those super ancient ancestors of turtles who decided to become, well, turtles? Did they benefit from this? Yeah, they got a couple of evolutionary advantages. The best one, of course, is the shell. It's made up of keratin, the same element that makes up our nails and hair, but it has increased strength thanks to the keratin plates with solid scutes. It's believed that a turtle shell can withstand up to 200 times its own weight. It's definitely stronger than aluminum, although, of course, not quite as hard as titanium. But let's be honest, is there anything in wild nature even close to titanium strength? The turtle shell provides reliable protection against most predators, but wouldn't it be better to evolve into something else? Someone who would be at the top of the food chain? Turns out the turtles themselves were there. Judging by the fossils, about 60 million years ago, there was a turtle on Earth the size of a small car, a head the size of a football, a shell about 5.5 feet long, plus large legs. This giant creature appeared after dinosaurs already vanished. It filled the vacant niche, and it looks like it just ate all the competitors that were still left. Scientists believe the turtle was large enough to eat even ancient crocodiles. Crocodiles! Can you imagine how surprised the descendants of these crocodiles would be if modern turtles tried to eat them? What? But what about evolutionary adaptations? Perhaps another convenient skill is the ability of the turtle to retract its head. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, no other more or less large animal does this. Do you know what's the purpose of that skill? For a long time, it was believed that this was one of the defense mechanisms. The shell's hard, the neck's soft, so it's better to hide it to avoid bites. But new research shows that originally, turtles didn't seem to be hiding from anyone inside the shell and started retracting their heads to attack. Sounds weird? Then remember how the spring works. The harder you squeeze it, the more force it produces at the recoil. So the ancient turtles did roughly the same, retracted their head into the shell, then delivered powerful strikes on their prey. I don't know at what point the method of attack turned into a method of defense. Maybe one day some turtle thought, it's pretty cozy inside. See you later.